Este segmento es presentado por la Tapatía Mexican Café, el auténtico sabor de la comida mexicana en Houston.
Takeaways from today's draft. From what I've heard you say, two good players. What do you expect from both of them as you prepare for opening your first training session on January 20th?
Yeah, we feel very good about today's draft. We feel we added two very good soccer players. One, Garrett McLaughlin, who's a forward. We believe can play any of the three positions up top. He's mainly a number 9 for SMU, but he has great athletic ability, so we think he can contribute on the wings as well. And then Luca Perpa, who's a sort of an all-around central midfielder, very good skill. We definitely didn't think he would drop into the second round, and we feel lucky that we had an opportunity to pick him.
Now, this is your first draft as head coach of the Dynamo. What was this experience like for you?
It was a little bit unusual, all sitting in a room here, looking at a screen, and it was, it was not something that anybody here was used to because it's the first time they've done it this way. But it was fine. I think it's better than traveling somewhere else and having to do the same thing. So I think it worked out well. I'm really happy with with all the research that we did, because the players that we thought would get picked at the right times were selected. And like I said, I feel lucky that we were able to get Perpa in the second round.
Can you talk about the way that you've been able to fill off-season holes in general in the last couple of months?
Well, as you've seen, it's been kind of quiet here for the last month and a half or so. Obviously everybody's been pretty much off. We feel like the team is pretty complete the way it is right now, and our roster spots are pretty much full. We have very little room, so at this point we're staying put, and we feel like we're in a good spot.
What made Michael Nelson someone who you wanted to keep around as your lone keeper during this off-season period?
Well, I just feel like sometimes at a club you start bringing younger guys along, and at some point it has to become their time. Otherwise, you really don't need them. And I feel like this is a year which Michael will be able to compete. And if the opportunity comes along that he needs to step into the first team and play games, we're confident that he can do a good job.
Perpa, I think some national team experience. You cross paths with him. Is that obviously factor into why you chose him?
I have not personally. We have not crossed paths on the national teams, but I do feel like he's an excellent midfielder, a two-way sort of box to box number 8. We require a lot of work from our central midfielders with the way we want to play, and I think he fits in. And whether he fits in to contribute right away this first year, we don't know, but we do know that we have a good player for down the road.
2 attacking players taken today. Does that sort of show that the club is keen to offload either Manotas or at least one of those 2?
I wouldn't take any conclusions out of what happened in the draft. The fact that we took attacking players is just because I mostly just like attacking players. But and I think in the back we're pretty well covered. We have, I feel, 6 very good center backs on the pipeline, 4 sort of on the first team and 2 on the second team. And we have now with Zarek, we have 3 really high-level outside backs. So I feel like we didn't need any help at in the back.
Kind of coming into the draft, Victor mentioned taking 2 attacking players. For you guys, was it looking at specific positions, or was it more kind of best player available as the draft unfolded? What was the approach as a staff to today?
Well, in particular, you always, you try to take the best player available, but we were looking in particular for somebody who can score goals. That's obviously the most difficult thing in the game. I feel like with Garrett, we found both someone who can score and someone who can also play wide and provide service for other players. So I think we found both there. And then Luca falling that far, we really had him in our top 10, 15. So Luca falling that far for us, I think, was sort of a blessing to be able to get a midfielder on top of it.
And you talked about Luca being versatile, can play kind of a box-to-box or all over the midfield. Garrett can play anywhere along the top. How important is that versatility for both of them as you're building an overall roster?
It's really important, but in particular it's important for young players. Because young players sometimes are difficult to fit into a first team. So although you may be an attacking midfielder as a young player, when you come into the first team, you may get your first few minutes an outside midfielder or outside back or somewhere where you can just contribute just a little bit. And I feel like both of these guys have the type of mentality that can contribute anywhere.
En español, yeah. ¿Cómo le fue presente su primer MLS Super Draft? Sale con 2 jugadores que espero que van a marcar diferencia en la pretemporada, ¿no?
Bueno, creo que para mí, siendo la primera vez, la experiencia ha sido muy buena. Hemos tenido la posibilidad de recoger 2 jugadores del draft que pueden ser jugadores importantes de aquí a un futuro. Dos jugadores que juegan muy bien en su posición, uno que es delantero y uno que es más mediocampista, pero creo que dos buenos jugadores de fútbol.
Y pues cómo llega el equipo con esos dos jugadores y los que van a venir para pues, esta pretemporada, su primer pretemporada con el equipo.
¿Cómo? No.
¿Cómo llega el equipo pues a la pretemporada con esos dos jugadores y los que faltan para llegar al equipo para su primera pretemporada con el Dynamo?
No, creo que el equipo en este momento llega bien. Tenemos una plantilla completa y en este momento con los jugadores que hemos agregado creo que estamos en buena posición.
Es un día emotivo para esos jugadores, hacen el salto de lo colegial a lo profesional. ¿Qué emoción se notó a los jugadores cuando les dio la noticia que iban a ser parte de este equipo?
Bueno, creo que eso es una de las partes bonitas del fútbol, ¿no? Que uno puede dar ese tipo de noticias. Cuando le hablamos al jugador que elegimos en primera ronda, a Garrett, bueno, no sabía ni qué decir, ¿no? Entonces creo que son momentos muy bonitos. Uno que es padre sabe lo que sienten los jugadores jóvenes a veces cuando tienen una buena noticia, pero bueno, ahora es hora de ponerse las botas y venir aquí a ganarse una posición, ¿no?
¿Qué cualidades traen estos dos jugadores al equipo en particular?
El primero, Garrett McLaughlin, es un jugador delantero que es más, jugó en SMU como número 9, pero creemos que puede jugar también por las bandas de 7 o de 11, o sea que puede contribuir en cualquiera de las tres posiciones. Luca Perpa es un jugador que es un centrocampista, juega más bien por la parte central del campo solamente, pero es un número 8 que va de área a área, que tiene mucho recorrido y que tiene llegada a gol.
Y pronto llega la pretemporada, un mensaje que le da a la afición que ya se emociona de ver a Houston Dynamo.
Sí, bueno, creo que todos estamos muy ansiosos de que comience la temporada y para mí el mensaje a la afición sería que ojalá estén ahí para alentarnos porque sé que el equipo lo va a dar todo. Okay. Okay, you're welcome.
Este segmento fue presentado por la Tapatía Mexican Café, el auténtico sabor de la comida mexicana en Houston.